for him being in the league that long, playing with no line, playing with no receivers, and only one running back that couldn't stay healthy, and still made it to the playoffs. That's almost like what is it? The Colts.
Their defense.
Their defense definitely kept them in the game. Yeah. But they had to score to win.
Yeah, but
it was Mario Mariota.
You know what? You could throw in any hoodoo out your behind to score. All right. He basically he ran the ball. Yeah, he scored a couple touchdowns. I wasn't impressed. You know why I wasn't impressed? Because at the end of the day, when they switched the offense, when their NFL coach on the Titans gets fired, because he will.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
When he gets fired, and the new playbook is presented, they will see who Mariota is.
I guarantee you that they will go to a playbook that Mariota fully understands, because they know that with that quarterback and with his talents, they have the best shot with him.
I don't know.
Who else is out there?
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. Yeah, he about to get dropped.
No, he ain't about to get dropped. They ain't about to drop him. Come on. They had two good receivers. The coach is calling plays for one receiver, not the second one. Then when they tried to implicate new plays for him, the other receiver, they do it at the beginning of the season versus waiting until they get closer to the end of the season.
But why not get them used to it? Why not get them used to getting the ball at least?
You go through the plays in practice. You keep going through the plays of practice, and then once you go through the plays of practice, they're ingrained in your head. Man, so when like you said before, when you have some new plays, once somebody stops you, that's what they should have did. But they didn't.
Stopped all year.
They didn't.
All year long. We got stopped all year long.
And the defense subpar.
Nah, our defense was top 5. What do you mean?
The Bucks?
Yes.
The Bucks are subpar.
Bruh.
They subpar.
Defense top 5 in the league.
They subpar.
Top 5 defenses in the league.
It wasn't all Jameson's fault.
I wasn't saying it was all Jameis Winston's fault. But what I'm saying is, with the defense that he had that was able to stop the ball, yes, they need to beef up their line a little bit. I will say that. But as a quarterback and the talents that you have, especially to throw the deep ball, you weren't getting it to Evans enough. You weren't getting it to your other receiver enough. You were passing mainly shorter balls and using your legs because you had to scramble because of the line. I get that. But when it comes to understanding these plays, when it comes to actually doing your job and just being quiet and take the back seat. Now, my whole thing is we don't need you to be the loudest person in the room. We need to preserve you so you can focus on you making these throws. We don't need you to talk. We don't need you to do nothing else. We need you to learn this playbook. And that is the issue. Jameis Winston isn't that good.
Let me go ahead and tell you something. The problem with the NFL now, as it is that you give me some building blocks, all right, or some blocks of wood, and you give me a block of wood with either a circle, a star, a square, a rectangle. You look at these squares and you want me to put them in to the hole. All right. If I do it differently, you're telling me I'm wrong. If I plug in the wrong block into the wrong, if I plug the wrong shape of block into the open shape, then I'm wrong. Well, maybe it's because the way you've learned it is totally different than the way you're trying to teach it. So if you give me a piece of wood with an open shape and a block of wood with a shape to match it, and I put it in the wrong shape, the problem is that I don't recognize something. So if you're giving me a playbook and you give me a defensive playbook, the defenses that I should recognize, and I don't recognize them, and I plug in an offensive play, but I score a touchdown, and you get mad at me for running the wrong play. Why is that? You know why? Because technically, people learn things differently.
Yeah.
So if a person learns something different, if you could teach sign language to a gorilla, you can teach a kid straight out of college in pottery class how to run your playbook. If you can't do it, then there's a problem with the way you're teaching it. And you can't always blame it that the kid got a lot of money.
All right, let me tell you some of the Buck stats as far as their defense. They created last year alone 26 fumbles, which the next team that was higher in fumbles was the Jacksonville Jaguars with 25, and the who was this? The Buffalo Bills with 25 fumbles. Buffalo had a decent defense as well last year. Let's see what else. Points per game average. They averaged 23 points. Defense alone. The next one under that, and this is top now. This is the second highest. The next one was Cleveland with 25-6. Who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this and I'm saying yards. Let's go to yards. Tampa Bay Buccaneers had total yards, 378.1 yards last season. And this is them getting the interception and running, or getting the fumble and running the ball.
That's defense.
Yeah, this is defense.
Okay.
This is defense. So, and then now we're going to, your, let's see, your penetration. 109. The highest was 122, and that was Miami. Penetration? Bro.
Wait a minute, what do you mean by penetration?
By actually penetrating the line, like getting through. Penetration. Now, we're talking about causing fumbles, getting interceptions, getting points. Bro. Come on. Now, when you look at these stats and you say, "Oh, Tampa Bay wasn't that good defensively,"
Wait, why they got 32?
that because out of all 32 teams, they have all 32 teams there, but look at the stats.
32, man.
Don't look at the number. Look at the
number,
stat.
man.
Look at the play. Don't look at the placement. Look at the numbers compared to everybody else's. They're higher.
Game stats.
They're higher.
Wait a minute. Why are they 32 though?
I don't know.
You know why?
I'm trying to figure out that same thing.
You know why they 32?
Because they've been losing games because of their offense.
Because they're terrible.
They're not terrible.
The defense is
They're
subpar.
not nah, brother. Those statistics that I just showed you that was on NFL.com, they tell a completely different story.
Well, the story that they tell that I see is that it's only if the big toe is just as good as the pinky toe that makes it a good foot.
And you're talking about playing Carolina twice a year. You're talking about playing Atlanta twice a year. You're talking about playing the Saints twice a year. This is just within their division. And then you're playing other teams such as Dallas, such as the Seahawks, such as your Patriots. They play the Jacksonville. They play those teams. And you're trying to tell me that their stats are right behind one of the top 3 defenses, which was Jacksonville last year.
That's only in certain categories.
And we're looking at the most important category: stops, penetration, yards, points. When you're with your defense, you can get sacks all game long. You can get them. You put up on points? No. What else did you do? Nothing really. I can get a sack. Hell, Tom Brady gets sacked.
Well, I know
against the worst teams.
Well, I know it ain't Jameis Winston's fault.
It's Jameis Winston's fault why they ain't win. That's what I'm saying.
No, but it's not.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, we spent a lot of time on Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and a little bit of time. Yeah, people, we thoroughly appreciate all of our followers, all of our listeners that has given us the opportunity to be on this platform and allow you guys to listen to us. You know, we appreciate it a lot. It means a lot to us because one day I hope to be famous. You know, maybe not. You know, it depends on you at the end of the day. But we thank you.
We gonna be famous.